I recently came out of something called non-binary. Just to explain that in practical terms, I think it means if I were on the Titanic, I would be allowed on the lifeboat, but I believe I would be expected to row. Good stuff. This is a nice place to gig. This is lovely. The last gig I did before this was in a church, and that was not for me. I think that was an admin error. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't go to churches. Look at me, why would I go to a church? I went to a church once when I was 8 years old. My mother took me to a church. They gave me the wafer to eat, the body of Christ. I threw it up immediately. My mum swears blind that is the first moment she knew I was a lesbian. She says, and I quote, "If it was the body of Christine, you would have gobbled it right up." I recently came out of something called non-binary. Just to explain that in practical terms, I think it means if I were on the Titanic, I would be allowed on the lifeboat, but I believe I would be expected to row. That's my interpretation of it. If you're trying to explain it to somebody, sort of soft hands, strong arms. That's the situation. I just turned 30. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my 30th birthday. I knew what I didn't want to do with my 30th birthday. My friend did this for her 30th. I saw her shortly afterwards. I was like, how was it? She was like, it's great. I had a foursome. And I was like, I don't want to do that. The last thing I want to do on my birthday is entertain. Do you know what I mean? A foursome. She had a foursome, 4 women. She had a foursome with 3 other women. Who has the time? That is a logistical nightmare. You make the first one come. By the time you've made the 3rd one come, the first one's going to be ready to go again. I can't stay up all night playing lesbian whack-a-mole. I'm too polite. I'm too anxious as well. I'm too much of a host. I'd be worried about everyone else, you know? In a foursome situation, if there's only one vagina left, they'd be like, okay, is anyone else going to eat that? Or do you mind if I have it? Right. And if somebody else wants it, I'll be like, no, you take it, you take it. Do you know what? I've had loads, and honestly, I am full. I'm full. I'm a very anxious person. I'm in therapy. I'm going to break up with my therapist. That's the plan, I think. I've been seeing her for too long. 2.5 years I've been seeing my therapist. She knows too much now. 2.5 years, she knows everyone in my life so well. We're not doing therapy anymore, we're doing gossip. Why do we go for cocktails? That's my question. She's like, come on, it's happy hour. I'm like, not for me. I hate therapy. It's too expensive. My therapist, her name's Hazel, she charges me £60 an hour. The conversion rate's too easy on that, isn't it? It's £1 a minute, and I think about that with every passing second. She likes to do 5 minutes of breathing at the top of each session. That's £5 of breathing. I can't afford to breathe like that. I've come here for help. There was one day she sneezed, it cost me 25p. It's too much. I went to therapy because I thought I had ADHD. I do have ADHD. Sorry, I misspoke. I have TikTok. But I haven't got a diagnosis of ADHD. I paid for my diagnosis. You can get a diagnosis on the NHS at home, but I paid for it because it's very difficult to get diagnosed in the NHS. The first thing they make you do, you have to fill out a really long form. That's not very nice. That's not very nice. It makes somebody who thinks they've got ADHD fill out a long form. That's not very nice. If you wanted to know if you had MS, they wouldn't send you on total wipeout. That's bad healthcare. But I do have a diagnosis of ADHD. I've got inattentive ADHD. You can have inattentive ADHD, or you can have hyperactive ADHD, or you can have both. I said that sentence at a gig recently. I said, you can have inattentive ADHD, or you can have hyperactive ADHD. And a woman in the front row went, oh, you can have both. And I was like, she's got hyperactive. I got inattentive. It just means I miss things, I just don't process things, I forget things all the time. Like the other day, my girlfriend went for a haircut, and it genuinely took me 5 days to notice that she hadn't come home. That's a little joke there about my girlfriend not coming home. I'm just super inattentive. I just miss things. I'm annoyed about it as well. I wanted hyperactive. If I had to pick, I feel like I got all of the dumb and none of the fun. Do you know what I mean? Like when I go on a night out, nobody's like, oh, Sarah's coming, so this is gonna be a wild one. They're just like, oh, Sarah's coming, so put your name badges on. It's embarrassing. Anyway, so that's why I can't have a foursome. I'm too anxious. The one thing that did make it appeal to me, this is the one thing my friend said about this foursome that made it appeal to me, because she said it was lesbians having sex. She said it was really nice having another butch lesbian at the room, because at one point the bed broke and they put it back together. Thank you so much. I've been Sarah Keyworth. Enjoy your night. Cheers.